we're telling your followers that you're live now. That's great. You want to move that one just so like your face right here? Because then we're a little bit closer together. BJ Wimpy started the live video.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, hi all of my followers over here, and hello all of Ryan's followers over there. People are jumping on. This is great. So, I'm sure we'll repeat this a whole lot over and over again. But today we are announcing a feature film we are working on together, written by Ryan McDonald and directed by Ryan McDonald. And we are excited to just share that with all of you, answer questions that you might have, and yeah, just go from there. Ryan, what do you have to say? You take it for a second.
All right. So for anybody who's on BJ's channel and you haven't met me yet, my name is Ryan McDonald. I've been an independent filmmaker for probably almost 20 years. I have a film degree that I went to the University of Central Florida with, and this is actually my second feature film.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you've seen the other videos that we've done with BJ, such as Three Siths and the Baby,
Luke Skywalker,
Peaches parody, or the Lightning Fingers.
Yep, helped you with
Lightning Fingers. I was the guy behind the camera on those three pieces. So now we have a feature film I did that we want to run with. And again, it's going to be my second one that I'm putting in production. Now, my first feature film, we shot many years ago. BJ's girlfriend Danielle helped me with this as well, and we shot a feature film that we shot on an iPhone 6, which at the time I think the latest technology was an iPhone like 8, so we weren't too far off. But we were able to finish the film right before the pandemic, and we were able to travel the world digitally with the feature film, and we later ended up with distribution on Amazon Prime. So it's been kind of a long time coming. There's been several short films that I've worked on in the meantime. Of course, I mentioned the ones that are Star Wars folks with BJ, but if you also saw the Wolfman short film that also starred BJ, I was the writer and director for that as well. So it's been a partnership and a collaboration that we've been working on for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire time I've been thinking to myself, like, what was the feature film that you were that was on Amazon?
Royal Facade.
Okay, so I was a little bit jealous because I wanted to put BJ into a feature film. So now the only way I could top that part is to go ahead and put him as the main focus and the primal character in a feature film. There are maybe 6. There's of all the pages that we have, you're maybe not in about a paragraph of the entire film. So it's really focused around the character that we've developed for him, and I've always kind of known it was like I spoke with you actually earlier this year. We went to the Utah Film Festival. For another short film that I produced that you starred in called Convicts and Chocolate, and I said I have this idea for a feature. I gave you the premise, and now we're here and we have the script,
the full script ready to go. How many pages is it?
So it's a little, because of the, they say less is more, and so I really try to narrow down the dialogue in here. It's going to be full octane action packed. So the script length is just around 70 pages, but I think the way that we're going to shoot this, we should end up with about 80 to 90 minutes of screen time, and that's because of the way that sometimes how you format a screenplay and the action that's in there. It's a lot different because this is not as dialogue heavy as maybe in the screenplay might be.
Yeah. I've read this, guys, and I'm really excited to work on this with Ryan. I know we're going to try and shoot at some really long locations all over Utah, make it a very, have a Utah crew, Utah filmmaker, Utah actors, get it. And we got a gift. Thank you so much for the gift. Was that Navi Moon? Yes, and Navi Moon says put BJ in all of the movies. Thank you very much for that. Yes, I agree. So our movie is called Left for Dead. And I know a lot of people, when I showed the script in a post a while ago, they all jumped to that it was the video game Left for Dead. And I will say it is not the video game Left for Dead, but that's okay because we are going. It's a new venture. It's a lot of action. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we want to get everyone involved in this. And so this is like us also telling you all we are planning on crowdfunding this starting next week on Monday. So a week from Monday, we are planning on launching this, which would be May 12th. And it's going to be on an Indiegogo campaign. And we want to invite all of you to donate, large or small, to, you know, get different rewards and different things that help us make this really cool movie together, all of us together. So, and one thing we have today, I have a notepad here. If anyone has any ideas for, like, we'll run through them a little bit ourselves, but ideas for things you would like if you were helping to fund a film, whether you're paying $5 or $5,000, what would you like as a reward, or what would you like in return, stuff like that. So yeah,
that's good. Yeah, so I'll pitch the movie.
Pitch it.
It's a post-apocalyptic Western. Okay, so but what's going to be different in the way that you've seen post-apocalyptic films done before, which I know is kind of like a cliche with indie stuff. We mentioned the title's Left 4 Dead. It is not a zombie movie by any means. And then at the same time, it's not necessarily about how a group of people survive, but it's definitely about how one man survives in this post-apocalyptic Western scenario. It's going to be not only man versus nature, but also man versus man. Because at some point, as a character who's drifting through a forgotten world, and in this aftermath, a single character is now hunting him down. And every scene is going to be, as it gets closer and closer, this rage is coming for him that he cannot stop. And at some point, the two will collide in what will be a ultra-violent, high-octane, action-packed, fist-to-fist, knife-to-knife gunfight as well, finale. And that's going to be one of the key pieces. Now, another key piece is going to separate from other movies. You might be thinking, well, why should we back this? Well, here's the thing. As much as we all love the current state of movies and cinema that we go see, there is a bit of fatigue to it. And there's a bit of all of us that kind of have an audience ask of, like, are there any new and original ideas? This is going to be one of them. This is a completely original and new idea. And though though genre type, it might sound like something you've seen before, I can promise you that what we have planned for this is a film like you've never seen before in that genre by any means, and how we're going to shoot it. Now, we're also going to shoot it with the landscape and the backdrop of Utah. Mm-hmm. So movies in Utah have been around for around 100 years. In fact, last year we celebrated 100 years of movies coming to Utah. And a big part of that is because of the type of landscape we have. And many times Utah can mask itself as an alien planet. Or other parts of the West where Hollywood didn't necessarily want to travel all the way to Oklahoma to present Oklahoma in that sense. But what I want to do is I want to go back to kind of those historical roots, find the places where they shot Bush Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, find the places where they shot The Searchers, and let's shoot our film in those places as well, and kind of pay that type of homage to Utah filmmaking. However, what that means is that it's going to take time and money to get there, and we're also going to be Utah's a desert state, so we're going to be, not only the characters in the film going to be trying to survive against the weather and the atmosphere, we as the filmmakers and BJ as the actors going to be surviving against the weather and the atmosphere of shooting in Utah in July or August by that means. So it's going to be about make sure that we're all safe and hydrated with food, with shelter they're going to need, and the means and abilities to hike and find these locations, to present them on screen. Now, why is that important? Is because the landscape of Utah can change. And we've seen it even recently over the last several years, places that might have been farmland or even a drive-in movie theater are now being bulldozed and turned into apartment complexes. So what we capture in this film is important in the sense that, because once we capture it, it's forever. And if that landscape ever changes, we also harness this image, put it into the movie, but also with this pretty guy right here. So
do we want to run down any of the stuff that we have so far
Yeah.
for like rewards?
Yeah, so we have so we've had a lot of conversations.
Oh, let me answer. Michelle,
Yeah.
you asked, can you buy your actor's way into the film? Michelle, several of your actors I already might want to be in the film, so just be ready. Okay, sorry about that. I just saw her question, so I wanted to answer that.
Yeah. So with any of us who are trying to fund our film, we spent a lot of conversation around what are the type of perks that we see that people would like and that the audience that you guys would want. So we've jam-packed it with many things, and it's going to start off even down to let's see, what's one of our first perks here?
One of our very first perks is a shout out just from us. So what we will do during the run of the Indiegogo campaign, which will run for 30 days, we will be like every Sunday having a little meet and greet like this, where we will read every single person who has donated $5 or more. We'll read every single person's name on a live like this. The video will then be on our channels forever. So your name will be like, you will have BJ Wimpy or Ryan McDonald saying your name out loud on one of these videos. That's one of the very smallest perks.
Yeah. Next up, it's going to be we have not only that type of special thanks, but also once this movie goes on to IMDb, there's also the IMDb special thanks as well.
Mm-hmm.
So once we upload everything, you'll be forever remembered as a contributor to the film and how it got made. It's one of the perks in there. Now we're also going to tier that as well for an additional cost, where you could be a special thanks inside the credits of the film itself as well. When the end credits roll, you're on there. You were there to help us make it in that sense. We have a couple of different things. Everybody likes to have also a copy of the script as well. That's one of the perks. If you're an Emperor Palpatine fan, which I assume you are.
Some of you are.
It could be a celebration shout out from Emperor Palpatine to a loved one.
Yeah, so I'm planning. I will be getting into Palpatine, and people who donated that tier, I would do either a birthday shout out or a anniversary shout out, a wedding shout out, whatever you want, whatever your special occasion is. We'll pre-record it, send it off to you, and yes, for sure, you can get that from. Can we donate? It's not live yet. This is like our announcement that we are planning on doing it. It will be live on May 12th on Indiegogo. We will be making so many videos about it, telling you to go and vote, and we'll have our links in our bios. So don't worry. As soon as we know, we will have you there. Can you say Adam Ritchie is my master? Yes, Adam Ritchie. If you want me to say that, if you buy that, Palpatine can say that Adam Ritchie is Palpatine's master. Money coming your way. Yes, I hope so. Thank you. If anyone does have any questions, by the way, about the movie, the script, the campaign, please throw them in any of the chats, and we will do our best to answer them as we can. Well, we've got one right here. Is there a set location in Utah where this will be filmed? Anything you got?
Good question. So a couple of our goals are going to be finding locations where other historic films have been shot. Like, I'm a big fan of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and there's a bit of the movie in here. In my script that is kind of paid homage from that. If you've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, there is a clear moment where they're certainly being hunted by bounty hunters, and it goes on for about 20 minutes or so, where they just cannot escape the people who are chasing after them. And so a lot of that was filmed here in Utah. Helper City is a big location I'd love to win. I actually wrote it as Helper City in the script, but hopefully we secure that location. I think that came from last summer when we did Bricks and Chocolate, a short film that was a parody of Con Air and Forrest Gump. And that's where we're really celebrating the 100 years in Utah. The film festival was in Helper, and part of that town and that experience helped shape kind of my thoughts around this. So that's a big one. I'm from Ogden, and I love Ogden. And one of the really interesting things about Utah that makes it dynamic is that you can be from the distance of maybe like 15-minute drive. You can be in a high tower building area to flatland plains and it doesn't take that long to get there. And so there's a lot of amazing spots, even just in
Ogden.
Ogden.
Like you can go from a mountain to a desert within a matter of minutes.
Yeah, and so those are the locations so far. I think Helper City for me is a wish list, or just even in Cartman County altogether. Finding, if again, this is why we're asking for your help, because with your help, we could get to like Monument Valley, where John Ford shot numerous movies, plus also Stagecoach with John
Thank
Wayne.
you for the dolphin.
Yeah. So it's also so those funds help us get us there and able to sustain our entire crew though once we get there, because we're going to be going against several things, not only monetary, like how do we all get there without just asking for favors, but gas, lodging, food, per diems, paying for people for their talents.
Yeah, time and talent is a big one.
And then, but also, like I said, once we capture in that area, we have it forever.
Yeah.
But to be able to shoot Monument Valley would be
amazing.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. Someone did say, "I just got here. What are you talking about? Is that Mark Wahlberg?" It's not.
Oh,
but
so Mark actually is how I go now.
So hi, we are talking about our feature film script, Left 4 Dead, written and going to be directed by Ryan McDonald right here. Left 4 Dead is set in a post-apocalyptic world, which I know is being done a lot, but this is done in a different way. It's a post-apocalyptic Western where the main character, played by me, is trying to survive, and slowly throughout his survival realizes that someone is hunting him. And that someone, at first is like a speck on the horizon. Is like, is that someone coming after me or no? Nah, it doesn't matter. And then the next day it's closer. The next day it's closer. It's closer. And until, like Ryan said earlier, bam, like the high octane action explodes, knife on knife, gun on gun, wrestling in the dirt, throwing each other against trees. And also then my character wondering, why is this man after me? Like I'm just trying to live my life in this crazy world we find ourselves in. This guy is out here trying to get me. And so, yeah, it's I love like the tension that is built up in the script. I'm so excited to see that translated to the film, it's gonna be so good. It's me. I'll be hurting you. Oh, are you hurting me, Adam? Okay. What was that question right there? I love making short films. I do visual effects on YouTube. I'm wondering where you get your creativity and inspiration for your scripts.
Oh,
go ahead, Ryan. Where do you get some creativity and inspiration?
From this one particularly, the films that I was looking at, and even the screenplays that I was looking at, would be, I already mentioned Bush Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So especially that, like I said, the moment in the film where they're being kind of hunted by the bounty hunters, but then also like Apocalypto, which is
that's a good one.
Like Mel Gibson described it as a chase film. And the first 40 minutes or so of that movie, there's dialogue and people getting captured, but the last half of it is that main character running and being chased by a group. And so that mixed in, if I was to put movies in a blender, that one, Bush Cassidy, and then No Country for Old Men is a book that I've read and loved, the movie that I've seen many times over, and I even rewatched it, and I looked at the screenplay as well. But there's a moment in the movie where like Javier Bardem's character meets up with Josh Brolin at a hotel. He breaks in the lock, hits Josh Brolin in the chest, and then the next like 8 minutes is Josh Brolin. You never see Javier Bardem after that point. He's just dodging pellets of lead, just wicking everything around him. And even when he jumps into the truck cab of another guy, he's like, I just need a ride. And all of a sudden a bullet just and hits him blood. And then it's another one, and the glass shatters, and he's just trying to get away. And that kind of stuff is what I want, is what really the whole movie is just a person who's just, it's the tension that I want to create is just an attack and an assault.
You cannot get away from.
And in a world that is like there's no one, there's no law, there's no society, there's no one to save you. You're on your own. And I think also the way that I want to portray this, like I said, it's not like something that you normally would see in your post-apocalyptic indie film.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's important though. When I made my last feature film called Married and Loving It, there was a lot of we did in that movie.
Available on Amazon.
It's on Amazon Prime, yeah. There's a lot like for a movie that's about talking heads in a sense, like there's a lot of different camera tricks that we did to really separate that film from something that you've seen before. And then I think that's extremely important. And Steven Soderbergh's probably one of the better directors who I've seen where he could direct a scene of two people talking and it just somehow feels like it's not what you normally would do in a shot reverse shot kind of scenario. I was even commenting with my wife, who's also a writer and filmmaker, Brandy McDonald.
Who is watching? Hello, Brandy.
Yes. We're chatting about, if you look at the opening scene of Ocean's 11, even like look at the open scene, it's just a chair. George Clooney comes and sits down, and you know that he's sitting down in front of a parole board, but do we need to cut to them? Or can we just tell the story as it is with just George Clooney simply answering to people off screen? That kind of thought is the difference between just a movie and a film. And I don't mean to be pretentious about it, but again,
be pretentious.
If there's a moment where you're going like, we want fresh and new ideas, this is what we're trying to deliver.
Yeah. And I've worked on a lot of projects. I've worked on some, but like this feature really excites me. Not only because I'm starring in it, which is an exciting thing, but just the script itself is very exciting and very fun and nothing that I've seen before. And I want nothing that I've acted in before either. And so it's one of those like, yes, this is what I want to see. This is what I want to do. Yeah. And one of the best ways we can get there is with help from all of you. Again, we're not launching until next week. So there's no need to run out right now. You can start saving your pennies. Next week, May 12th is when we're launching on Indiegogo. So look out for that Left 4 Dead film. What was it called on Indiegogo? Just Left 4 Dead, right?
Left 4 Dead feature film.
Left 4 Dead feature films.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Can I do Palpatine Force Lightning or lightsaber VFX for you? Jedi 10 creative. Yes. I'm going to be doing a live tomorrow as Palpatine. Pop in then and we will talk. Hi, Ryan. It's Quinn.
Oh, hi, Quinn. It's my very talented and artistic and energetic stepdaughter, Quinn, who is jumping in. So thank you, Quinn.
Thanks for being here, Quinn.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
As far as special effects go, it's something I've spoken with our DP about is I want to try to make as many practical effects as possible.
Yes.
So there are some guns in this movie, and I don't necessarily want to like. I think we all know digital blood when we see it, especially in the indie film. And if you've seen the horror films that I've made, like Ancient Evil, Moon's Blood, we have no digital effects in that. And the blood it's all carnage and it's all real and it's sticky. And I just think it looks amazing.
It looks so good on film.
And so that's another cost value that's going to be why. So I don't want to necessarily do like CGI apocalyptic backgrounds or CGI broken down cars. Like, want to do everything practical as we can, but also safe as we can as well. And that's really where like the added part of the budget's going to be, and really where we need you guys' help is because we don't want to just I don't want to use flash frames to implement like gun bolt going off, but I also don't want to do CGI hits or blood splurts or things like this. Things that kind of really that's what really shows that it's an indie film, but not made.
It starts to look,
It starts to look, how do you say it? Like, it used to be where it's like, you'd make a detective film, but like a 20-year-old was playing the detective. Oh. It kind of looks like that. It's the piece that's like the weakest link then.
Yeah.
In the tension, and it won't work if the tension is supposed to be that there's a guy who's dodging lead bullets the entire time, but everything is CGI, or CGI at our level.
Yeah,
it'll start to. But we can do it practically, but we can only do it with everybody's
help.
Yeah.
Lachlan at Backyard Trial Films. By the way, go check their films; they're awesome. He says, "Are there going to be perks for donating, like being a producer credit?" Yes, Lachlan. That is one of them. We have like a executive producer credit, associate producer credit, creative producer credit.
There's like a funding producer credit as well.
A funding producer credit.
Yeah.
So yes, those are all perk levels, and that's like an IMDb credit as well as credit, like in the credits of the film. So Lachlan, if you're interested, yes, be ready to jump on.
So we have different credit levels. So on one hand, it could be a credit that's available on IMDb. But if you're as excited about this project as we are, and you want your name and a special title card on the film, there's a perk for that as well. And we'd love to have you in the title credits.
Yeah.
For our film.
Let's see. Sophie and Danielle both say hi. Sophie and Danielle are in the other room cheering us on. So hello, you two. Actually, I see there's a lot of friends on here, who are chatting and whatnot. So this is great. So we appreciate you all being here. We really do. So let's see. What else do we have? Yeah. All right. I guess, are there any questions that anyone has about the film, about the perks, or like, are there any perks that you would like to see? Anything like that we haven't thought of yet? I would love your input. Like, what would make you want to donate? Like, oh, I want a physical copy of the script that has blood and dirt on it from filming, or I want my name in the credits, or I want a Palpatine shout out. Like, what are things? Where are you looking to film? Oh, that's a good idea. So, like, what kind of perks do you want? Any need for voice talent or background voices? Matt B voices, as of right now, no, but stay tuned. And I'll write your name down right now, Matt B voices. Because if we end up needing it, we can throw it your way. A signed cast photo. Adam says that could be a fun one. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. You can get a birthday wish from Palpatine if you want to donate to our film. Danielle says, when are we looking to film this? When are we wanting to film?
Yeah. Here's the deal. This isn't our first rodeo.
No.
Necessarily. So this group is pretty
4 or 5 projects together.
Yeah.
Like we work together. We got this. We're energetic.
There's been times where, so in the last short film that I did, where I met with Sean, who I believe we have recruited for special effects in this film, Sean Gordon, and where I've come to him and said, hey, man, if you can do this in 2 weeks, I can shoot this. We can be ready to shoot in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Film. Yeah. And then had to do a turnaround. We shot Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I edited Saturday, Sunday. Boom, the movie was done. And we won 5 awards in Salt Lake for that. Best picture, best director, best special effects, best scare.
Yes.
There was a 5th one in there. But so that being said, with the knowledge and power that we have and the energy and the drive, I'm confident that once we get funded for this film, we will be ready to shoot here
almost immediately.
Summer.
This summer.